Hi everyone, I'm HP, and welcome to the very first episode of Gamer Pass, a video game review show, yes, but through a bit of a different lens. Our goal on this series is to take a look at a random sampling of games available on Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass for PC service, and help you decide whether or not they are worth the time and bandwidth to give them a try. And just to be clear, none of this content is sponsored. Before we dive into the first game, let's talk about the rating system. Games are rated on a scale of game, or pass, with a rating of or reserved for those games that are maybe more experiences. Definitely things that happened to you, but were kind of weird. Also, be warned, while I generally only play the first couple of hours of a given game, these reviews will contain spoilers. And with that out of the way, let's jump on to our first game, Rush, a DisneyPixar adventure. Originally released in March of 2012 for the Xbox 360 as Kinect Rush, the game was designed for that evergreen piece of video game hardware, the Kinect. Reviews for the game were generally middling, with a Metacritic score of 68 and an average user score of 4.8 out of 10, mostly citing the terrible Kinect support. The original release of the game featured 5 different Disney Pixar worlds: Toy Story, The Incredibles, Ratatouille, Up, and Cars. Then, in 2017, someone from Microsoft Game Studios saw an opportunity to expand the world, go for a cash grab, I don't know. Either way, the game was re-released, dropping Kinect from the title and receiving a graphical facelift to support up to 4K resolution and a new Pixar world. Also, the biggest change, controller support. To kick things off, the very first thing I did in Rush, a Disney Pixar adventure, is create the small child that would be my avatar as I experienced the game. Going with my gut on every section of the remarkably robust character creator, it is a Pixar game after all, I eventually settled on some sort of vegetable-human hybrid, which I ultimately dubbed Carrot Potter, the root vegetable who lived. I also got to see a preview of what Carrot would look like in the various worlds when he was transformed into such fantastical things as a superhero, a car, a toy robot, a rat, and my personal favorite, the exact same character, but a wilderness explorer from Up. You may have noticed that I didn't mention getting to see Carrot as a fish, and we'll get to that when we discuss the new Finding Dory world. Once I'd created my kidsona and started the game, I was immediately struck by the whole premise. Dropped off by a bus at a Disney Pixar themed park, Carrot is set loose with no adult supervision and approached by a random kid in a green shirt and told to just go wild. The bus driver presumably goes and parks somewhere to sleep off his hangover, and no grown-up was spotted for the rest of my time playing. From here, I wandered over and decided that my first order of business was to be an incredible. To be incredible whatever. As I stood on the magical circle to select the level, another random child approached and suggested the storyline. She would be Violet, and I would be some guy. And we would have an adventure on Syndrome's Island that was ancillary to the original story. The whole game is presented this way. You're playing make-believe in each of these Disney Pixar worlds with the other kids who get to be real Disney Pixar characters. You're essentially a background actor who got promoted to a featured role, and I kind of love it. It encourages imagination and being social in unfamiliar situations, which I think are actually really great messages to send to kids. Playing through the level, things were straightforward. You collect coins as you go through the stage, and when you get hit, you lose some of those coins. The level is also timed, and you occasionally have to complete fairly basic puzzles, usually by standing on a button with your partner or throwing an environmental object at something. There are original lines recorded for the game, and in many cases, the voices are done by the original actors. The gameplay itself was solid, and even though I chose my starting level at random, the game was good about providing tutorial-style control prompts. From a technical standpoint, the remaster does a more than adequate job of bringing the worlds to life in higher resolution, and the only weird thing I ran into while playing was an audio glitch whenever I would try to climb something that I can only describe as ladder farts. I had hoped this would only be a thing in the Incredible level, but, well...
Looks very much like you're going to be climbing soon.
I wouldn't be that lucky. Oh well. After defeating the leftover Omnidroid and earning a silver medal, I was surprised. I had enjoyed myself. And with that, I sauntered over to see what adventures awaited in Paris on the Ratatouille level. Yet again, I was approached by a child with an idea for a game, and we set off on another adventure. This time to save a rat trapped in a bottle by the evil chef and deliver him to Linguini and Remy before the health inspector could see him. The girl who proposed the game styled herself as Celine, a female rat who I thought was a brand new creation for this game, but it turns out was originally introduced in the 2007 Ratatouille game. The controls largely translated from the Incredibles section, and I have to admit, the run cycle for Carrot's rat Sona when sprinting was pretty adorable. 5 minutes later, we had saved the day once again, and I had claimed another silver medal. From here, I turned my attention to Up, and the story was much the same. Stray child introduces an idea for a make-believe game, and off we go. 5 minutes later, we had saved Mr. Fredrickson's house, and I had my third silver medal. By this point, things were feeling a bit samey, and I thought it might be interesting to try out the Finding Dory level that was added in the re-release. I was wrong. If Rush, a DisneyPixar adventure, has one major misstep, it's the Dory levels. You play as either Nemo or the baby turtle Squirt instead of as a fishified version of your own avatar, and because the re-release happened to be developed during the 2016-2017 video game voice actor strike, Ellen DeGeneres was not able to record new lines for Dory in this game. As a result, these levels are essentially just swimming through underwater environments, and the game's push to go quickly is at odds with the natural desire to slow down and enjoy the environment. Not much to say other than these levels feel like they lack substance. After collecting another silver medal and being mumbled at by a child in a snorkel and mask, I sauntered over to the Cars world and managed to get surprised by the game once more. The Cars section switched up the controls just a bit into more of a racing game style, but it flowed really well. A quick drive through Radiator Springs encouraged by the dulcet tones of Lawrence the Cable Gentleman, and I had qualified for Lightning McQueen's racing team and been asked to assist British Secret Intelligence in Tokyo.
Of course he can wait, can't you, Lightning?
Well, who am I to interfere with British intelligence?
Oh, and I got a silver medal. Again. Finally, I made my way over to Toy Story Land and got to enjoy a return to the familiar mechanics of the other levels as we tried to make sure Mr. Pricklepants didn't get left behind by Bonnie at the daycare. Pretty standard fare here, and I'm always impressed by how well Tom Hanks' brother Jim does at impersonating his Sheriff Woody voice.
We need a plan to get you over that gate.
As the level drew to a close and the final score came up, I was rewarded with a silver medal. A 6th silver medal. What the heck? This is supposed to be a simple kids game. How am I so bad at this? And therein lies what I consider to be this game's secret genius. Even though there are only a few levels in each world, you're encouraged to replay them and try to do them differently to get that gold medal. And apparently you can also find buddy coins in each level that will unlock the ability to play as a famous franchise character instead of your avatar with special abilities. Which is cool, though I never got to experience it personally. Hey, quick aside before I give my final word on Rush, a DisneyPixar adventure. If you enjoy the idea of Game or Pass and want to be part of the conversation surrounding these games, make sure you come hang out over on twitch.tv/HPBraincase. I stream the games for Game or Pass live over there, and after each game, I stop and have a discussion with the chat. And if there are any good points that come up in that discussion, there's a good chance they'll make it into these videos. And that brings us to my final rating on Rush, a DisneyPixar adventure.
Like a Tribe Called Quest, you say the whole thing.
Easily and without hesitation, game. Rush, a DisneyPixar adventure, sets out to be an accessible, simple game that you can play alone or co-op with fun new adventures in DisneyPixar worlds, and it does that. It does exactly what it sets out to, and at least with a controller, manages to be fun to play at the same time. I don't know that I can ask for more. If you have kids who are fans of the Disney-Pixar franchises presented in the game, Finding Dory notwithstanding, and you have access to Game Pass, I recommend giving this one a shot, and maybe even playing with them. And hey, at least Finding Dory didn't have any ladders.
Looks like we're stuck.